Hey, good evening, family of God. This is your brother, Gerald T. Hightower, affectionately known as Dr. G. Welcome to an early edition of the Late Night Love Chat. I am here with a special guest tonight, and we're going to chop it up and have some delicious dialogue on all things relationships. And we are especially talking to the singles tonight, and we are asking a question that I believe is very timely. But first, let me introduce my guest. She is all the way from the great state of Florida, which is secondary to the state of California. Her name is Miss Dia Marie Shelton. Dia, good evening. Hello, how are you?
Doing fabulous. How are you, Dr. G?
Doing excellent and improving. Listen, this is going to be fun tonight. We're going to have some fun dialogue, and I'll give you a minute to share the broadcast to your audience on Facebook Live. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Again, it's going to be some fun dialogue. We won't be here long, but you're welcome to come on in and ask questions as well as share the broadcast. All right. So tonight, we are going to ask this really awesome question because I believe that for many single people, we are single unnecessarily. And so our question for tonight is fear keeping you single. Miss Joy, I see you. Miss Dorothy, I see you. Is fear keeping you single? Because the truth of the matter is, dear, that a lot of us who desire to be in relationships, a lot of us are holding ourselves back. It's not because, contrary to what all of so many people are saying, women are saying that there's just not enough good men. Men are saying, where's all the good sisters? And so we have all of this dialogue going back and forth. We're standing on opposite sides of the Grand Canyon, when in reality, God ain't broke. He ain't never ran out of anything, and he hasn't run out of good available men. And brothers, I'm encouraging you, listen, he ain't ran out of good women. You just have to position yourself to find one. So we delve into this subject. I wanted to ask this question, Dia, for our topic for tonight, because I really believe when you talk to people and you start dealing with the area of relationships and really start peeling layers back, you'll find out that for a lot of our sisters who say that there are no good men available, yeah, they have good men coming their way, but fear is robbing us. Fear of being hurt again. Fear of, I don't know if I'll be able to stay in love with him, or will he be able to stay in love with me? Fear of, I'm getting older. Will he still love the way I look as I'm getting a little older, as things that used to be sitting up south start heading north, or vice versa. So let's delve into it, family. I want to chop it up, and I want to hear from you all tonight. I want to hear your questions and comments, and we're going to chop it up. So, Dia, share with the people, what is your relationship status?
I am single. Single.
Now, are you single? Now, there's two types of single, Dia. There's single unavailable and single and available. What would be your status? To all the gentlemen out there who may be looking for a wife.
I am single and available.
You hear that, brothers? She's single and available. All right. Now, but brothers, if you step to her, you got to come correct. All right.
Absolutely.
Because this is an educated sister. So, Dia, for the audience who may have not had the pleasure of getting to meet you, introduce yourself and tell us a couple of things about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do, all those kind of good things.
Well, again, my name is Dia Shelton. I am mom of three. I am an educator. I'm 17 years. I am a dean in an elementary school. I am an entrepreneur, and I do network marketing, and I market travel businesses. I'm sorry. All this stuff going on is distracting me, so I do apologize. But I am, like I said, single. I am right now moving into the space of dating. So I am ready to hear what you have to say.
All right, awesome, awesome. I see good people coming in. Good evening, La Princess, Michelle, Joy, Dorothy. Good to see you, Francesca. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Jermaine is back in the building. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you all. So this is the question for tonight, and some of the people who are coming in, you all know that I asked this question. I've talked about this subject on more than one occasion, and it bears repeating because, again, family, many of us, if we're honest, we have had some good opportunities. For my sisters out there who say, Dr. G, ain't nobody checking for me. Ain't none of these men approaching me. All right, ladies, but if you're honest, there are a couple of men who have approached you. The question is, have you been in a mindset of being single but unavailable? And if so, what has kept you at that status? Is it because you're working towards something? Is it because you are working on yourself? Or is fear keeping you single? That's the question for tonight. So let's chop it up. Talk to me, family. What is the answer to the question? Dia, what do you think? Do you feel like the ladies you've spoken to, gentlemen you've spoken to, don't try to worry, don't try to monitor all those comments, Dia. That's too much. Just stay right here in the studio with me. Just stay right here. Just stay right here. What do you feel, Dia, as you've talked to men, you've talked to women who are single? What do you feel? Do you feel like fear maybe keeping us single? Maybe fear of getting hurt again? Fear of having gone through a divorce and like, I never want to experience that level of pain? What do you feel like are the top two reasons why a lot of us are just like habitually single?
Definitely. Fear of just repeating the same thing over again. Nobody wants to be hurt. So I know for myself, I had a bad picker. So
You had a bad picker?
I had a bad picker, yeah. And so, women, we love hard, and we put our all into it, and we want to get the same in return. So it's kind of hard to put yourself back out there once you have experienced, some rough places. That would be probably number one for me. Just the fear of being vulnerable. Gosh, it's tough, Dr. G. I really can't think of maybe a second thing, but I know just for me, it's just been the fear of just laying myself back out there again, because it's tough.
Well, I'm going to go 50-50 with you on that one, Dia. I do agree that God has wired women beautifully so to be lovers by nature. And so, yes, I'll go there and agree with you there. But not all women love hard. Some women are hard to love. And there it is again, where we are, part of our issue, and this is true for both men and women, that we are not willing to really open our heart to be loved or to give love. And some of us have become scarred due to either past experiences or even issues that extend from our childhood. And it has caused us to be really a tough nut to crack, if you will. It's really caused many of us, because I see this as now, for those of you who don't know me, I am a relationships consultant and have served in this capacity for 18 years. I am the CEO of Real Love Nation, by the way. And Real Love Nation is a relationship development, premarital consulting, and divorce recovery firm. And as a pastoral counselor, I've been doing this for 18 years, as I said, and I've talked to men and women all over the world, literally. And I find this to be true for both men and women, Dia, that a lot of men who gave their hearts and they were really, really, really in love with that woman. And when that relationship ended, or they went through a divorce, or Perhaps infidelity took place in a relationship, whatever those issues were, or family got involved and it drove a wedge between that couple. Whatever those issues are, I find that men find it's extremely difficult for them to recover and open their heart to love again. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a few. But for our sisters, Dia, because you can speak more to this issue better than myself, for my sisters, I find that even for women who've not been married before, even for women who've been in relationships with a good man, but maybe the relationship just didn't pan out. Nothing bad happened. There was no cheating. There was no abuse or anything like that, but it just didn't work out. We grew apart. But Dia, here's a question I want to ask you for the ladies, and that is, are women choosing today, women of the 21st century, are women choosing career over love?
Yeah, it just seems like this new generation that's coming in, they are now seeking their careers more so than seeking a relationship. Everybody wants to be Miss Independent,
Right.
wants to have their own money. They're secure in the bag. And so they're waiting on marriage. They're waiting on children. They're waiting on all of that. And so that's more important for a lot of people these days. For a lot of women, they
Right.
want to be independent. They don't want to depend on any man. I don't need a man is the new catchphrase for a lot of women, which I don't subscribe to. I need a man. But where'd you go? But so yeah, um, that's what I find these days. Oh, is it just on me now? Oh, so it seems like I am in charge of this podcast now. We have lost Dr. G. And so the theme tonight is fear keeping you single? So I can't see any comments um, on here to answer any questions. Oh, are you back, Dr. G?
I am indeed.
Hello?
I am
Can you hear
indeed.
me?
Yes, indeed. I can hear you fine, Dia. Go ahead.
Okay, I was finished. I was just going to take over as Dr. Shelton.
Well, good job. Well, listen. So, to the point of your, and I did hear you. So, is because based on what you're saying that women are making those decisions. Are the decisions that women are making toward career versus having love? Are those decisions, do you feel they are being governed by a woman's need to chase the bag? Or is it just that she feels like maybe love is just not a part of her destiny? What do you find most often happening with women? And especially, I want to really pose that question toward African American women, because statistics show that white women, Asian women, and Latino women, they get married at a much earlier age than black women over the last 20 to 25 years. And so I really would like to pose that question to you, Dia, as an educator yourself. Do you find that women black women in particular, are choosing the bag or choosing not to marry because they feel like it's not a part of their destiny?
Um, I think there are a lot of factors into that. I have not really done research in this area, but just from the women that I speak to, a lot of them feel that their pickings or their options are not up to their standards. And so, you have a lot of men who are not available. Either they're married, they may have a different sexual orientation, they may be incarcerated, just several, they may be dead. So the population is not in their favor, unfortunately. So they're like, shoot, they just rather have a friend on the side for, those times that, you know, things start talking, and they go satisfy that. And then they go back to securing the bag, which they get, for whatever the reason, they get the intrinsic satisfaction from doing that and getting different certifications and accolades and, just all of the other trappings that society say that, make you somebody. So they don't really look for getting into a relationship as much anymore because they don't want to be disappointed. So they might as well just go ahead and go after the education, the things they know they can get because that's within their control.
Mm, very interesting. Um, so I see a lot of the comments, Dia, are slim pickings, narcissists, so on and so forth. This is what I'm hearing from a lot of the ladies. The quality and substance of men is scarce. I'm hearing um, that being said. So then my question for all of my sisters who would say that good men are scarce, and that there are narcissists. And I would say this, ladies, you're absolutely right about narcissists, which it seems like it's a growing thing. But ladies, you do understand that narcissist is not relegated to being men, right? You do understand that because there are some narcissistic sisters out there, and I've met some of them. So the whole narcissistic thing. And then I think because narcissist has really become a part of our regular dialogue over the last 10 years, I really think that a lot of people want to quickly throw a label of narcissist on people when in reality, they're not narcissists. They may have a character trait or a personality disorder, but it doesn't make them a narcissist. No more than a person who is an eccentric doesn't make them crazy, but we're quick to throw the label crazy. And it really is a way of being dismissive to people instead of providing care for people or handling people in a different manner. But that's another topic for a different day. But to your point, Dia, and thank you for making those points, really, really, really great points. So I want to speak to all of my sisters who would say that there is a lack of men, lack of men, lack of men. My question to you, ladies, is are you, and I'm talking about pre-COVID, of course, because during the quarantine, we all know that we've been extremely limited over the last year, year and a half. But now, ladies, as a part of your lifetime, though, because many of the ladies that are a part of my network, many of the ladies are over the age of 35, over the age of 40, ladies who are my followers. And so with that said, ladies, my question to you, what are you doing as a woman to position yourself to be found? Because again, having done this work for 18 years, I find that many ladies, Dia, who are in the church their whole life, especially if they've been previously married and or they have children, I find, Dia, that most women who are in the church their whole life consist of work, church, and home, work, church, and home, work, church, take the kids to school, take the kids to a recital, take the kids to the game, and back home. And they're not doing anything. They're not going anywhere to be found. I know because I've taught classes on this and I yet continue to teach classes on this. So my question, Dia, is if we're talking about scarcity, it really begs a different question. And that is, has God run out of good men? Because just in the last 2 years, I personally know 3 women who are in wheelchairs and they got married. I posted one of the ladies who's a sister, beautiful, beautiful black lady. This awesome gentleman dated her. Oh, and by the way, Dia, he dated her after her accident. He didn't meet her when she was in good health. He met her after her accident. She was already a paraplegic. They dated for about a year, and I posted a picture of him proposing to her in a park. They went for a walk, and he's walking. She's in her wheelchair, and he dropped down on one knee and proposed to her. And then I have posted another picture of them getting married. And so, ladies, I do feel your plight that women do outnumber men. I will definitely agree with you in that. And I would agree with you that more women are willing to be married and at least have a mindset for marriage more so than men do. There are some reasons for that too. But I would say, ladies, for every woman who really is ready to be married and positions herself to be found, I will tell you, ladies, that God will not leave you without being married. Consider the fact, ladies, that you have several sisters who've been married more than once. Come on. You have several ladies, several of your sisters who've been married more than twice. So the question becomes, if you say that there's a scarcity of good men, how is it that other sisters are getting married? And then you have to ask yourself the question, ladies, and you have to be honest with yourself, because we can't really improve our situation until we acknowledge our situation. And that is really acknowledge where you are. Because I know when I talk to many ladies, Dia, I found when they say initially they're angry, they're frustrated, or they're just completely disenchanted with the whole idea of being married, right? I'm talking about ladies who haven't been married yet. And when I really get through and kind of start peeling back some of those layers, I'm asking my sisters these questions, and then they'll tell me, you know what, Dr. G, I have had a couple of good men approach me, wanting to date me, wanting to marry me, but I wasn't ready. Okay, so you weren't ready at 25. You weren't ready at 35. And now at 45, you're angry. And there's been 2 or 3 good men who have come along who wanted to marry you, and now you're 45 and you're angry. and see, because then we have to be real, because God, listen, Jesus gave the disciples a promise, and I don't want to get too preachy here, but I'm using this as a principle. Jesus told the disciples prior to his ascension, I will not leave you comfortless, right? So he sends back the Parakletos, the Holy Spirit, who is known as the Comforter. Now, you have to understand, the family of God, and I really want to help you catch this principle, because we talk a lot of practical stuff, and we talk a lot of stuff that's out there that's permeating social media and permeating the news. So I want us to really be practical in our understanding about God. If God is love, dear, okay, and his promise to us is threefold. Number one, that he will not leave us comfortless. He will not leave us without love. Number two, Psalms 37 verse 4. When you delight yourself in the Lord, he'll give you the desires of your heart. And number three, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you. So the question becomes, both for men and for women, have you done those things that would, number one, you're demonstrating to God that you're honoring him with your life? And then number two, have you eliminated from your life the things that would distract or deter you from having a good relationship? Because again, dear, I find that a lot of us, we say we're ready, but we ain't ready to really be about that life. A lot of us who say we're ready for love, we're not willing to die to our stuff or to address and confront our own issues to really be ready. A lot of us who say we're ready, dear, we're either lonely or horny. Oops, did the man of God just say that? Yes, I did. We're either lonely or horny. Oh, me so horny.
Yes,
Oh, me so horny. A lot of us are just horny and lonely. And we say that we're ready, but we ain't really trying to have nobody in our life like that. I want somebody for the weekend, and then like, yo, I need you to go, because like, bye-bye, I got other stuff to do, right? I'm not really ready to merge my life into oneness with somebody else, but I do want to have at least temporary companionship. What do you think, Dia? Do you think that more ladies, if you just the ladies that you know, ladies that you've spoken to, or ladies that you may be following or connected to, do you think if we had looked at 10 women who are single, who say they are married, do you think it's more so due to loneliness, or are there more women who are really, really ready to be a good purpose partner with a man?
Say that again. I didn't catch the first part.
Are there women who desire marriage because they're tired of being alone, or do you feel that there are really women who sincerely are ready to be purpose partners? I'm gonna put you solo on the camera, so don't worry. I can still hear you, but I'm gonna put you solo on the camera as you respond to this. Go ahead.
Well, I find just in my circle of women, because I do, um, I surround myself with like-minded women. So most of the women that I know, we are on a mission to better ourselves so that we are ready for the right one. We're just not asking God for the right one, but we want to be the right one. So I'm sure there are some ladies who find themselves in desperation. And so they're just taking whatever is out there because, maybe they're getting older, they want to have children, and the clock is ticking. But that's not really the kind of women that I am associated with. The women that are in my circle, we are all either we have a therapist, we have a life coach, we're in some course, marriage ready course. We're doing something to ready ourselves for our Boaz or for the purpose partner that God has for us.
Okay, awesome. Now you just said you hit some really good points about getting life coaching, being a part of a course. So of the women, again, using a very exceptionally, extremely conservative number of 10, if there are 10 women, or let's just say 100, if there are 100 women who are single and say they're ready for marriage, what percentage would you say, Dia, of those 100 women are taking a course, getting a life coach, taking some therapy to get healed of the emotional traumas that they may have gone through, getting healed of the soul wounds that they're dealing with? Of 100 women, what would percentage, and just give me a hypothetical number, whatever you think, nothing has to be accurate here, we're just talking. What percentage would you say of women who are really investing in themselves to be marriage ready?
Well, of the women that are really investing in themselves, those are the women. Out of the 100, that's 100%. If they are investing in themselves, then they're doing the work. I would say just women in general. If you gave me 100 women of the general population, and especially my nationality, I would say maybe 30% of the women are really doing the work to position themselves to be found by the right person. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of us that do seek the help. And not everybody has to pay for it. People shy away when you have to pay for services, but anything worth having, you're going to have to invest. You are your best investment. So even if it's just reading books, get on Audible, listen to the Audible book of it, go to the library. If it's all about finances and your finances aren't straight yet, go check out some books at the library, but start working on you. You cannot say there are no good men out there. That's one of the problems, because what you're saying out of your mouth is defeating. You cannot say there are no good men out there, because that is what you're getting. What you're putting out there is what you're getting back. That the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you are making those negative statements, then that's what you're going to get back. But if you start saying that, I'm positioning myself to be found by my purpose partner, I am great, I'm awesome, I am ready for love. All those great affirmations. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I say them, I have them written down, and I say them daily. And I have to say that it has really changed my outlook. I don't know where you are, Dr. G, but I'm going to keep talking. It has really changed my outlook. So now that the people that are being interested in me, they are good quality people. So you have what you say. Start working on you. Start healing those hurts that you have had in your past. Going back to your childhood, there are a lot of things that we suffer from that we don't even know that is blocking our blessings in the relationship arena. So I can't say enough for finding someone that is a professional that can help you work through some of those things.
Great. That is awesome. Dia, you dotted I's and crossed T's that I've been teaching for years. Thank you for all those that are coming in. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Let me reset real quick. Gerald T. Hightower, affectionately known as Dr. G. I'm the CEO of Real Love Nation, and welcome to the Late Night Love Chat. And tonight we have a special guest, Miss Dia Marie, as I call her. Dia Shelton is with us, and we're chopping it up and having this awesome question addressed. Is fear keeping you single? And notice that I put fear there as an acronym, which is standing for false evidence appearing real. I saw some great comments and great statements. And we have a good number of men coming in the building. I see my brother Zachary in the building. I think I saw my brother Joseph in the building. I think Pastor Rick is in the building as well. Jermaine is in the building. Apostle Larry Harris is in the building. Blessings on you, good men coming in. So listen, Dia, you really touched on some great points because, again, these are things that I've shared and talked about and taught on for years. But I find that a lot of us, we don't really hear it in the way we should hear it. As the scripture says, he or she that hath an ear to hear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. A lot of times when we are hearing things that are good, healthy, and pertinent for us, we're rejecting it. But I do want to address one question, because one of my sisters, I believe, asked a question: what is a purpose partner, or what are the ideal things that we should look for in a purpose partner? First and foremost, because I know this term is relatively new for a lot of people, but a purpose partner is someone that you share what I call family, COP, compatibility of purpose. And when we talk about compatibility of purpose, first and foremost, you have to know what your purpose is. You have to at least have a modicum of understanding as to what God put you on the earth to accomplish. What has your life been designed by God to do in impacting the lives of others? Because one of the things we have to understand about purpose, Dia, is that purpose ain't about us. Purpose is all about how God can use us as his vessels, as really, let me say it like this. Wow, I just got this download, Dia, fresh off the Holy Ghost griddle. All of us who are born again, who have the Spirit of God dwelling on the inside of us, we are all little extensions of him in the earth. We're all extensions of God as sons of God. And sons, ladies, is not a gender specific word, but the Bible talks about that we are all sons of God. The word son means anyone, male or female, who possesses God's character, his nature, and his likeness. So we are all, as the scripture says in Romans chapter 8, we are all the sons of God. Amen. And so that said, we are all extensions of him in the earth. And so now I need you to understand then, ladies and gentlemen, that if we are all extensions of God in the earth, and he has placed his love inside of us, then it is up to us as free moral agents having his Spirit. It's up to us to position ourselves to connect with someone for love. But now watch this. Dia, if I'm going to receive love, I first have to be willing to give love. And I saw I saw a couple of other of my sisters, I believe it was, I won't try to name names, but I saw a couple of my other sisters say, hey, Dr. G, women are, to your point that you said earlier at the outset of the broadcast, Dia, women are lovers by nature. Women love hard. I totally agree. Although that's not true for all women. But by nature, in general, women do. Women are lovers by nature. Women are the most beautiful creatures that God created on the planet. A to the man. Notice, brothers, that God made us from dirt, but he didn't make woman from dirt. Amen. Took her from the rib. That's because women are made out of sugar and spice and everything nice. But seriously, listen, let me say this, that Dia, and I love what you said. Whatever we're putting out in the atmosphere is what we're drawing to ourselves. I know plenty of professional women that have never lacked having good men in their lives. And what I find for the women who talk about scarcity among good men, I find most of those women are in the church, which means their life has been limited and they have not done anything to position themselves to be found. Their idea of a great networking event is a convocation or a conference.
Right.
Or a revival or a concert or a church play. That's their idea of going out and entertainment or going to a networking function. Listen, ladies, if you're going to position yourself to be found by the quality of men that you want, and equally as important, the quality based on the quality of woman that you are, if you're going to find those kind of men or have an opportunity to connect and have interaction with those kind of men, you have to go where they are. And most of those cats, they don't hang out in church. Saved, love God, but they don't hang out in church. There's more to life than going to church. I'm an apostle, and I can tell you, there's more to life than going to church. And I'm so thankful, despite the wisdom coming in my head, that I'm still young enough to have understood that idea, that life is more than just being in the church. A to the man, somebody.
A to the man.
Let's see. Okay, here's a great question right here, Dia. Our sister Gayla has asked a question. She said, after a traumatic marriage of 23 years ending in divorce. Can you read the comment, Dia?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Read the comment.
After a traumatic marriage of 23 years ending in divorce, I'm in my 5th year of healing deliverance. I have invested in therapy, life coaching, relationship, masterclasses, books, etc. I now feel healthy and whole enough to position myself for love. I'm 63 years. Where do the mature kingdom men hang out?
All right, that's good stuff. Thank you, Gayla, so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for asking that question and sharing your heart and sharing your thoughts. So, Gayla, the answer to that question is this. The mature men who desire marriage, most of those men are they are not, let me say it like this, they are not limited to being in the church. They are men who love God. They are men who may even serve in ministry, but they do more in life than just ministry. Okay. I will tell you, being a man, having served in ministry for well over 30 years, I can tell you that my entire life, my entire adult life, because I wasn't saved as a kid, I didn't grow up with Christian parents, but my entire adult life has been ensconced in ministry. Now, I'm blessed that I have had a wealth of corporate professional experiences as well. But for the most part, my life has been ensconced in the church. It is just now in this season of my life that I'm finally, Dia, understanding the value of having this one word that most Christian folks have no idea what it is. It's a B word called balance. That I can live saved, faithfully serve God in ministry, but also, do something that's not churchy. All right. So to answer my sister Gayla's question, where are the mature single men at? Mature single men are doing a plethora of things. Usually you can find them going to an auto show. They're in a business meeting, a money mixer. They're at a sports bar.
Home Depot.
And listen, Home Depot, as my dad used to say, Home Depot, Lowe's, those kind of places. You're going to find men like that at sports bars. Watch this. I love going to sports bars, and I don't drink at all. I don't drink because I don't want to get into a situation where somebody see me and like, oh, blame it on the alcohol. You know, you ain't gonna find me in those kind of situations. You know, I can go and I can drive leaving because I ain't turning up. Y'all ain't gonna say amen, but I'm teaching. Listen, so you find men in those kind of places. You might find men who are at a lounge somewhere kicking it. I find a lot of men who are into nowadays who are more into golfing. And so, ladies, are you learning a golf game? Are you learning tennis? Join a bike club. Many of you ladies who are entrepreneurs, you have never, ever been to a Chamber of Commerce mixer. Really? And you're an entrepreneur and you've never been to a Chamber of Commerce mixer in your own city? Because a lot of men are there because they're learning to build a network, because most men understand, just like most women who are business oriented understand, that a significant part of your net worth is determined by your network. You got to get out. And a lot of brothers are not kicking it at the church like that. Okay. Especially during COVID-19. So there's just a few things. Golf game. My sister Gayla said, where are the mature men? Because she's 63. Men who are, I'll tell you this, ladies, men between the ages of 45 and 60, they are out there on that golf course. They are out there on that golf course. They are attending some kind of function, learning how to make money. Or men who are handymen, you're going to find them at Home Depot. Yes, dear. What were you going to say? Did you see a question or a comment that you wanted to chime in on? Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull another question or a comment or two. Oh, yes, absolutely. Somebody said boating events. Yes, absolutely, Daphne. Listen, men love going. Listen, I took up sailing a few years ago. Actually, about 10 or 15 years ago, I took up sailing. And oh, my God, I cannot tell you how freeing, how liberating, how serene it is to go get out on a yacht or go out on a sailboat. Now, if you're out on a sailboat, it's going to be work. But once you get out there and you cruising, I mean, it's just wonderful, man. I'm telling you. So a lot of men are getting into things like that. So, ladies, these are the kind of things that you have to find yourselves being interested in if you're wanting to attract a certain caliber of man. And then, ladies, I want to really talk about what's even more important than that is investing in yourself. Because those of us who are mature men, we are strongly attracted to a strong woman who has more going on in her life than just the church, has more going on in her life than just her law career or her business career or we love women who are diverse. You know, ladies, how you enjoy changing up your look? Well, we love a woman who can change up her look too, not just her outward pulchritude, but based on her intestinal fortitude, her knowledge base, her interests, her love for travel, being a foodie. You know what I mean? Like you like more than just steak, French fries, and fish. You know, we love those things. So there you go. Just a few things, just a few love nuggets. Miss Yvette says, I'm teaching you how to shoot your shot. Not necessarily how to shoot your shot, but just how to position yourself to be found so somebody can shoot their shot. But you gotta get out. You gotta get out. My brother, Apostle Larry Harris, says this. Let me see if I can pull up his comment.
He says, absolutely. There are men who are believers that are followers of Christ's way of love, that are doing a plethora of things in different venues and are not kicking it at the church, in and at the church.
Boom. Boom. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. All right, let's see. All right, here my sister Samandria asked a great question as well.
Samandria says, how can we identify that he is the one? At the beginning, they can seem to be a godsend, but later learn he later learned he show a different side. Sorry, it's kind of still too small, but I'm working it.
You are. You're doing a good job. Thank you. Um, okay, so my response to that question, and Wayne, I saw your comment, sir. I'm going to get to your comment in just a minute, Wayne, and thank you for the comment. I definitely want to get to your comment too. So, ladies, a couple of things here to Samandria's question, and I'm sorry, Dia, can you read that comment one more time, Miss Samandria's comment?
How can we identify that he is the one? At the beginning, they can seem to be a godsend, but later learn he shows a different side.
Okay, so let me speak to that issue. And as many of you who follow me, many of you know I'm an equal opportunity preacher. So I'm going to give you a very balanced perspective at all times on all things relationships. So, Samandria, to your point, yes, you meet a lot of people. For you as a lady, you're meeting men who present their representative, the ambassador that comes to the table first, and then you find out other things. Well, guess what, Samandria? This is true about everyone. And honestly, nobody is going to bring the worst version of themselves to the table unless you just catch them on a bad day. All of us, ladies, y'all too, all of us bring the best version of ourselves to the table. That's what you should do. It's not putting up a facade. It's not being false. It's not being fake. It's what you should do, because we all were taught that the first impression may be your last impression. So your first impression has to be your best impression, right? So we all want to make a good first impression. The purpose of dating is not for mating. It's not for moving in together. The purpose of dating, somebody dropped this in the chat, dating is for discovery. Dating is for discovery. Dating is for discovery. Dating is so that we can get to know each other, to see if we're a good fit for each other, and, Dia Marie, what I call to determine if we share COP, compatibility of purpose. Because I can be strongly attracted to you, but our purposes might not complement each other. Our purposes may conflict with one another. For example, I dated a lady who is a missionary. Probably, I think right now she might be in Dubai. Well, we liked each other very much, dear. I mean, she's a wonderful lady, but her life is called to be global. And my life is global, but I serve in a regional way. I'm not going to be living 6 months in Dubai and then 3 months in Costa Rica and then 2 months in Kuwait and then another month in Korea. You know, that's not my life. But if that's your life and you said that's what God put you on the earth to do, well, our purposes are not complement each other. They're going to conflict. And so guess what? We dated for a few months and she told me what she was about, what she was doing, and what God was calling her to do. I could not disagree with that. We honored each other. We respected each other, but the relationship just didn't work out. Now, on paper, you look at it, it's like, oh my God, you guys are such a perfect couple. But we were not. So that's the purpose of dating. It's about getting to know each other, because Samandria, if you find out some other things about that person, it doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that they're just not good for you. Okay. And that's just the truth. And so there's a lot of grace that we have to give to each other. And I feel like most of us as single people in the church, especially those of us of African American descent, we don't extend grace to each other. One thing goes wrong that you didn't like, and all of a sudden he's a bad person. Brothers, y'all just as bad. One thing that she does that she doesn't like, and all of a sudden she's a bad person. Oh, no, because I saw her. She was doing this. And okay. Doesn't make her a bad person. So I think, again, speaking to the issue of love and who we should be as believers, having love, we should extend grace to each other. I might not like that thing that you do, but it doesn't mean that you're not a good person. It doesn't mean that you're not good for someone. You just may not be good for me, or I just may not be good for you. Let's pull up Brother Wayne's comment. Let's see if I can get this.
Hi, Wayne. Most African American women look for men to depend on instead of depending on God. They're looking for completion instead of a connection, while us men are looking for a woman to bring out the best in us so that we can fulfill our purpose with God.
Mm.
You want me to read that
Wow, that's
again?
powerful. Yes, please, one more time. And I'm trying to get Wayne's
Disappears.
comment on the screen. Okay, go
Most
ahead.
African American women look for men to depend on instead of depending on God. True statement. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking for completion instead of a connection, while us men are looking for a woman to bring out the best in us so that we can fulfill our purpose with God.
You said that's a true statement, Dia?
The first part. That second part, he said, they are looking for completion instead of a connection, while us men are looking for a woman to bring out the best in us so that we can fulfill our purpose with God.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, Dia, the first part you said is true. Why do you feel that a lot of our African American women and women in general are looking for a man to depend on? Why do you feel that's true?
Just for obvious reasons, financial reasons. You know, two incomes are better than one. Most women, especially in my age group, we have children. And so children cost money. And unfortunately, a lot of the men are not, for whatever reason, they're not supporting their children. So, yes, while we pray and we're looking to God, we don't always look to God for everything. And we're looking in the natural for some things. We need some tangible things to help lighten the load a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. I wanted these are such good comments, and I'm so sorry, family, to that I cannot get to all of them. Um, um, Part of Samandria's question too was, how do we identify if he or she is the right one? I think I addressed that topic, that piece, when I talked about compatibility of purpose. And so again, a significant part of understanding if you know he or she is the right one, you got to know if you're the right one. Okay. A lot of us, and this is true. Oh, excuse me. This is true for both men and women. A lot of us are so busy focusing outwardly at what the right one looks like, we're not paying enough attention inwardly to make sure that I'm the right one. Some of you that are connected to me on Facebook, you saw that I posted. Miss Anisha Ross says, I disagree. I'm gonna get to your comment, Miss Anisha. Some of you saw my post just recently, and I posted that I am a husband under construction. I'm single, believe in God for my wife, but I'm under construction. I know there are certain areas of my life that God is dealing with me about right now. There's some areas that I have suffered through some hurts that I know I need to be healed of. And it wasn't until I was in certain situations I was confronted with, like, whoa. So it can't be me blaming that person or blaming the situation. Like, yo, bro, you got to look at the man in the mirror. And so I had to really confront myself. So, there's some areas, bro, that you got to get strengthened in, you got to get healed in that before you begin to pursue a woman who's going to be your wife. Because family, all of us have to be at a level of emotional wholeness. I want to give it a twofold thing, that it's a level of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. The emotional maturity is that you have come to a place of being strong enough and strengthened enough in your emotions that you don't wear your emotions on your sleeve. You don't take things, you don't take life, you don't take yourself too seriously. You can laugh at yourself, right? That's emotional maturity. So that every little word spoken or every little action taken won't set you off and you could become easily offended. Emotional intelligence is getting to a place of two, being mature, but also being intelligent enough to make decisions that are not governed by your emotions. It's okay that you have emotional feelings. God made us that way, but it's not okay for you to completely let your relationship decisions be governed by your emotions. And that goes to what Dia said earlier. And I heard this by one of my other sisters, Dia. My hem picker is broken, is what my sister said. She's like, my hem picker is broken. I tried to pick him and that was wrong. I picked him, that was wrong. And I find that when people say their hem picker, or for brothers say my her picker is broken, it's because most of us are making emotionally driven decisions. Would you agree with that, Dia?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Would you agree with that? That many times we're making emotionally driven decisions?
Right.
Okay, let me address Pastor Anisha. Pastor Anisha, you'll have to give me another comment because I'm not sure. You said I disagree with the entire statement, even the first part. I'm not sure which comment you were disagreeing with. So I want to honor you, Pastor Anisha. I want to honor you and address your question, address your statement.
I think she's referring to Wayne Grimsley's post or comment.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. So, Pastor Anisha, if you had a follow-up comment or a question, I'll be glad to address it. And while we're waiting on Pastor Anisha, if she sends us another comment, I wanted to take this statement from Mr. Chris Davis. Dia, you want to read this comment from Chris Davis? He's asking a question, actually.
How can one maintain their wholeness while also fulfill serving their partner? How can one maintain their wholeness while also fulfill serving their partner?
All right. Great question, Chris. Thank you so much for asking it. And I've got to figure out, here we go. I know what to do. Let me do this. Because I think that I am, there we go. All right. That's how I get rid of that. All right. Boom. All right, Dia. Because I had to figure out how to clear that so I can take more questions and be able to see them. We both can see them clearly. So, Chris, to your question, how can one maintain their wholeness while also fulfill serving their partner? So, maintaining wholeness is really about just being honest with yourself and then being trusting with your partner, Chris. And that means that you have to trust your woman. Trust her that when she speaks words that are giving you constructive criticism, that you trust her enough to take heed to her instruction and make the necessary adjustments. Let me say this, family, because that segues us into something that I teach all the time, Dia, that every healthy love relationship or every healthy relationship in general, it requires adjustments, changes, and sacrifices. And herein is how we can determine if a person is really, really ready for a relationship. Because a lot of people say they're ready, but they don't want to make no adjustments. They ain't trying to make no changes. And they're very limited on what kind of sacrifices that they're willing to make, especially if I'm not a beneficiary of the sacrifices. But you hear people over the age of 45, Dia, say all the time, I ain't trying to change for nobody. Right? We hear that all the time from both men and women. I ain't changing for nobody. And I've literally heard a woman of God say, and I won't call her name because she's well known, but she's single as a jaybird, Dia, but she was wearing a wedding ring, a big one. And I said to her, I was like, woman of God, I was like, why are you wearing that wedding ring? I said, don't you understand that's going to cause a lot of men to be deterred from pursuing you? And here's what she said to me with her deep self. Well, the right man of God will know that I'm not married, and he'll look past the ring and he'll know how to approach me. The devil is a liar and his cousins. A real man of God is going to see a ring on a woman's finger and we ain't going to holler at all. I'm talking about real men of God. I ain't talking about just brothers in the church. A real man of God, I see that ring, I barely might even say hi to you. But I'm definitely not going to approach you in any way. Oh my God, you know what? I discern that that ring is not a wedding ring. I discern by the Spirit that ring is just a diversion. No, I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to see the ring and I'm like, deuces sideways. I'm going to keep it moving. So, Dia, what would you say to all the sisters out there who are wearing wedding rings as a deterrent from the wrong kind of men approaching her? Should ladies who want to discourage the wrong kind of dudes from approaching, should ladies wear wedding rings who are single?
God is not the author of confusion. Take that mess off. Period.
But the question, but they say they're wearing it as a way of defense. What would you say to that? Talk to your sisters, dear. Talk to your sisters. I'm gonna let you be solo. Go ahead. Talk to your sisters.
A way of defense. That's a wall. A man is not going to climb a wall. Now, I don't understand. I never heard that before, to be honest with you. And it quite baffles me why a woman would wear a ring on her wedding ring hand. It sounds like maybe she needs to continue some healing, to be honest, that she's not ready. So therefore, the ring is there just to keep men away, which is what it's going to do. There is no way in this world. I'm like Dr. G. A real man is not going to step to you and you have a ring on your finger. That is a natural barrier. That's like a woman who sees a man with a ring on his a wedding band on his hand. Will you try to drop your hanky at him? No. You're going to respect that he has the ring on his hand and you're going to keep it moving. That sounds, to be honest, no judgment, but it sounds ridiculous to me. So that's all I have to say, Dr. G.
I like that, Dia. And thank you. I like that, Dia. And thank you once again for offering your insight. And ladies, you just heard it from one of your sisters. Because when I say things like that, Dia, the ladies feel like I'm being hard on them. And I'm just telling you, listen. And I want to go back to Chris's statement about how do you maintain wholeness? Well, how do you maintain wholeness? So again, it's about being honest with yourself, addressing the issue. And then we as men, brothers, and I want to share this revelatory love nugget with you, brothers, because this has not been taught to us in the church. So I'm going to drop some revelation right through here. Our position as men who are desiring to be married, our job as a husbandman has to be about how we serve her. All right. And going back to my brother Wayne's thing, Wayne's comment rather about women are looking for men to depend on. I'll go 50-50 with you on that, Wayne, because you are right. There are a lot of women who are looking for a man to be their meal ticket. So they will spend money getting injections in their lips, in their hips, in their bootay, and in other places, just so that they can catch the ideal 6, 7, or 8-figure earning man. All right. Without putting any work in for herself to become a 6 or 7-figure earner. So there are a lot of women who are like that. I'm born and raised in Hollywood, y'all, so I know. And then currently living in Atlanta, so I know. There are women going all the time, going get booty injections, because they feel like if they got a big old juicy booty, then they can marry a man with a big old juicy wallet. Come on, y'all. I know I'm telling the truth. So there is that factor. There is that component out there. But then on the other side of that, Wayne, and saying this to all my brothers, there are also women out there who don't need and are not looking for a man for a financial come up. There are a lot of good women out there who are working hard and making it happen on their own, and they're waiting to be found by a good man who says, hey, when we come together, we put what we got together and we can be an awesome power couple. We can do some phenomenal things. Why be powerful by yourself? Why be powerful by yourself when the Bible says two are better than one? Let's pull this thing together. All right. And we can do this together. So there are women out there who are like that. But now let me go back, and I want to complete this piece by finalizing Chris's question. Can you be whole and serve your partner? So as men, our job is to serve. Our job is to cover. I talk about what qualifies a man to be a good husband, Dia. And what qualifies a man to be a good husband is that he's able to do what I call Dr. G's 4 P's. He has to be able to pray for her. If a man don't have a relationship with God, he lacks the ability to pray for you. And if he can't pray for you, as my sister Real Talk Kim says, if Bay can't pray, Bay can't stay. All right. You need to give that brother deuces, because you got to have, ladies, if this man is going to be the leader of your home, a leader for your life, and especially when you're talking about children as well, you got to be having a man. He doesn't have to be deep. He doesn't have to have, a great wealth of experience in the word, but he does have to be familiar with the word. He does have to have the word of God used as the thing that centers his life. And he has to have a real relationship with God, which means he has the ability to pray. All right. That's first and foremost. You can't put your life in the hands of a man who doesn't have a relationship with God. All right. That's number one. So he has to be able to pray. Number two, he has to be able to provide. That goes without saying. All right. And ladies, let me say this, because here's a big, huge issue, Dia, and I would love for you to speak to it. I'll come back and address it. But provide is money, but it's more than just money. All right. Because the issue that I'm going to address with Dia in just a minute is, can you be with a man if you make more money than him? A lot of y'all ladies say you can, but you can't. Love you, mean it. You say you can, but you can't. No, Dr. G, not me. I'm a different kind of woman. Until you're not. All right. So he has to be able to pray. He has to be able to provide. Number three, he has to be able to protect you. Protection is both physical and spiritual protection. All right. As well as an emotional level of protection, meaning that he's emotionally available and he's willing to look well to the care of your emotions. And then fourthly, he has to be able to pour into you. This is a man, he doesn't have to be college educated, but he does have to have enough wisdom to be able to see into you and know how to pour into you, know how to edify you and build you up, know how to speak to your dreams, know how to speak to and edify your purpose. And if there's an idea that you have, can he bring resources to that? Again, he may not have a ton of money. He may not be college educated, but can the brother pick up a phone call and make a phone call to connect you to some resources that'll help you fulfill that dream? Can the brother pick up a hammer and help you build up some of those pieces of those dreams, right? He has to be able to pour into you so that he's adding value to your life as much as you add value to his life. So those are Dr. G's 4 P's: pray, provide, protect, and pour. Coming back to provision, Dia, my question for you, my dear sister: are women cool with a man if she's a 6 or 7 figure earner? He doesn't earn as much money as he doesn't earn as much money as she does. Is that a good relationship? Is that imbalanced, or is it a relationship that can work? What's your take?
I believe it's a relationship that can work. She's strong in that area and he's strong in some other areas. They have to talk it out and see what works best for them. Some women can handle it and not hold it over a man's head. Dr. G, where are you? You leave me out here hanging. Some women can handle it. And unfortunately, some women, those high paying earning women, those alpha women, as the term that is now going around, they have a hard time. Some of them have a hard time with submitting to a man, and submitting to a man that earns less than them is probably somewhat hard for them to handle. So Did I lose? Oops, did I lose? Oh, there you are. So yeah, so it can
I'm
work.
trying to
It
make you a
just
star, and you keep worrying. I'm trying to make you a star so you can be heard and seen. Because when I go off the screen, you can be heard better. That's what the audience is telling us. That's why I keep putting you solo, dear. So please keep
and I
sharing.
can
You're
can't
sharing.
really hear you too well either. So I don't know. It's this technical stuff going on.
No, no, no. You're good. You're good. You're doing very good, dear. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm finished.
So that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I'm getting some good comments. I was reading the comments you were while you were sharing. Hey, Kara, good to see you. So Kara says, and this is a great comment, and I totally agree with Kara Sakina. She said that you can actually earn 6 or 7 figures and not be an alpha. And thank you so much for sharing that, Kara, who is a successful woman earning at least 6 figures a year. She might be in the 7 figures now, because I don't know. I haven't talked to my friend in a long time. But listen, just because you make 6 or 7 figures doesn't qualify you as an alpha. All right. Money does not the leader make. I don't know how we have this false notion of thinking just because a person has a big house and drives a Bentley, a Benz, or a Rolls Royce, that qualifies them as an alpha leader. You might be phenomenal in all of that, but you may not be an alpha female. You might not be an alpha male. All right. So listen, this has been some rich dialogue. Dia, we went long over our designated time that we had committed to, but you did a great job tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Y'all throw up a 7 real quick. Throw up a 7 if you would like this show to continue. Some of you know that I've done these kind of shows for years, but usually I'm always by myself. But there are some things that I'm looking at in terms of developing a podcast show around relationships. There's a lot of people out there talking about relationships now, but most of them don't have a biblical foundation. So I'm going to find out from you all. Would you all be interested and be willing to support? Got to ask that question. Because, dear, people say, yeah, that sounds good, Dr. G. But then you develop the show and then them jokers leave you out there hanging. You be coming on live and it'd be crickets. But I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, would you be interested and would you be willing to support if we created a show centered around healthy love relationships? And Chris Davis, thank you, sir. Wayne, thank you. I want to especially thank all my men who came in. Wayne, Jermaine, my brother Apostle Larry Harris, thank you so much. And ladies, I love and appreciate you all dearly. There is no ministry. There are no great, impactful networks without the women. Women always show up. And so, ladies, I appreciate you so much. But ladies, as you can all appreciate, it's good that men come in too, right? It's good that we have a growing number of men that are coming in and joining us. So brothers, I'm going to ask you, please make sure you connect with me offline, because I would love to stay connected with you. I'm actually getting rid of some of my friends on Facebook who I haven't talked to. They haven't, I go to their page and they ain't even been on since 2018. So I'm getting rid of a lot of friends so I can have some new friends, because I've got close to 10,000 people on my page, 5,000 friends and almost 5,000 followers. And I don't even see 2% of those people. So I'm getting rid of a lot of dead weight so I can make some real good, solid relationships, especially with my brothers. Okay. So thank you, brothers. I appreciate you all. This has been wonderful. And you all, please give some love to my special guest, Miss Dia Shelton. Please give her some love. This is her first time, y'all. And I'm kind of I'm giving her a push out of the comfort zone, pushing her to stretch. And didn't she do a good job tonight, family? Ladies, give your sister some love. Brothers, give our sister some love, because she needs the encouragement. She's really an awesome, awesome lady. And I'm so proud of her for taking this jump, because coming on live is way more difficult than just pushing the button and coming on and say, yeah, let's talk about relationships. It's way more difficult than that. All right. So thank you, family. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you all greatly. And again, we're coming on every day for the month of May, 31 days of what we're calling manifested miracles. So join me tomorrow at 3:20 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be on every day by God's grace. We're going to be on every day for the month of May for 1 hour of prayer and the word. So we'll be on tomorrow at 3:20 p.m. Eastern, 2:20 Central, 12:20 on the West Coast, which of course is the best coast. Shut up, Dia. So anyway, family, I love you. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back on tomorrow. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to read through some of the comments so I can come back and maybe address some of the comments and maybe even come up with a show topic based on the comments and questions that you all are asking. All right. And then by all means, family, you can also visit my website for those who may want one-on-one coaching in the area of relationships. I definitely will be glad to serve you in that way. For those of you who said, Dr. G, I am like really, really wanting to know how to get myself ready for a healthy love relationship. You can go to my website, reallovenation.org. That's reallovenation.org. I offer relationship coaching and purpose mentorship. For those of you who are trying to discover purpose, you say, Dr. G, I am clueless. I don't know what God put me on the earth to do. I just been working a job, making money and paying bills. Listen, let me serve you. I'd be honored to serve you. I'll give you a free 30-minute consultation. We'll chop it up. You'll share with me some things. I'll give you a purpose evaluation. And then if you feel I'm a good fit for you, we can develop a mentorship program that I know I can help you take a step-by-step process and help you move into purpose. All right. Blessings on your family. This is your brother, Gerald T. Hightower, signing off. And once again, to my great friend and special guest, Miss Dia Marie Shelton. Thank you so much, Dia, for joining me again. Blessings on y'all, fam. And we will see y'all tomorrow at 3:20 p.m. by God's grace. All right. Thank you so much for joining us again. God bless.